What if I told you that there was once another gospel, one that stood alongside Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, but it was erased from history? A gospel so rare that only scattered fragments of it remain, hidden in the writings of early Christian scholars. This was the Gospel of the Hebrews, a mysterious text that some believe could be an older, more authentic version of the Gospel of Matthew. But why did it vanish? Was it suppressed because it contained secrets the early church didn't want to preserve? Or was it simply abandoned as Christianity evolved? This is the story of a gospel that almost made it into the Bible but disappeared, except for a few cryptic passages that hint at a very different understanding of Jesus. Unlike the Gospel of Thomas or the Gospel of Mary, the Gospel of the Hebrews was never physically discovered in a cave or buried manuscript collection. Instead, we only know about it from quotes found in the works of early church fathers like Clement of Alexandria, Origen, and Jerome. Where did it come from? Most scholars believe it was written sometime in the 1st or 2nd century CE, possibly as early as the Gospel of Matthew. Who used it? It was widely used by Jewish Christian sects like the Ebionites and Nazarenes, followers of Jesus who still adhered to Jewish traditions. What language was it in? Some accounts claim it was written in Hebrew or Aramaic, while others suggest it was originally in Greek. Unlike the Gospels in the Bible, this one had a strong Jewish identity, possibly reflecting an early version of Jesus' teachings before Christianity split from Judaism. Since the text itself has been lost, all we have are quotes and references preserved by early Christian writers. One of the most fascinating passages, recorded by Jerome, describes Jesus speaking about the Holy Spirit in an unusual way. "My mother, the Holy Spirit, took me by one of my hairs and carried me to the great Mount Tabor." In mainstream Christianity, the Holy Spirit is genderless, but in Hebrew, the word for spirit, ruach, is feminine. This passage suggests that early Jewish Christians may have viewed the Holy Spirit as a motherly figure, a concept that was later erased from Christian doctrine. Another fragment, quoted by Origen, contains a unique version of Jesus' baptism story. Instead of a straightforward event, it describes Jesus as the chosen one in a mystical vision, adding layers of mystery to his divine role. One of the biggest mysteries is whether the Gospel of the Hebrews was an early version of Matthew or a completely separate text. The church father Papias, writing in the 2nd century CE, mentioned that Matthew wrote a Gospel in Hebrew. Could this be it? The Gospel of Matthew itself contains many Jewish elements, suggesting it was meant for a Jewish Christian audience. However, since the Gospel of the Hebrews had additional sayings not found in Matthew, it may have been a different tradition that preserved an alternative view of Jesus. If the Gospel of the Hebrews was important to early Christians, why was it lost? The answer lies in the shift of Christianity away from Judaism. 1. By the 4th century, Christianity had become a Gentile-dominated religion, breaking away from Jewish traditions. 2. Jewish Christian sects like the Ebionites were branded as heretics and their writings were not preserved. 3. The 4 Gospels we have today, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, were chosen as the official canon, while other texts were left out. This Gospel likely fell into obscurity not because it was dangerous, but because it didn't fit the new version of Christianity that was forming. Here's the biggest question: could a copy of the Gospel of the Hebrews still exist somewhere? Ancient libraries, hidden tombs, and lost manuscripts are still being discovered. The Nag Hammadi Library and Dead Sea Scrolls revealed long-forgotten texts, so what if this Gospel is still waiting to be found? Until then, all we have are fragments, small glimpses into a lost Christian tradition that was nearly erased from history. So what do you think? Was the Gospel of the Hebrews an authentic account of Jesus that was unfairly erased? Or was it just another variation that faded over time? Let me know in the comments, and if you want to hear more about other lost Gospels, check out my videos on the Dead Sea Scrolls and Nag Hammadi Library, linked in the description. If you enjoyed this deep dive into lost Christian history, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. The past is full of mysteries, we're just getting started.